It's mid-January 2016 and we've come here to the magnificent Hinchinbrook Island to investigate reports of yet another out-of-control national parks fire, which is, as we've been told, destroyed virtually all the blue banksias in the area between Mulligans and Zoe Bay. So we're shortly going to proceed and walk up to the trail and see what we can find. We're standing in the remains of a forest. There's very little left alive here, and we're looking now at least one of the blue banksias which has been killed. There are dozens like this on this hillside. So this used to be a forest. It's a forest no more. We're looking out to sea now. There normally wouldn't be a view from here. Normally it would be covered in forest. Right in the centre of the shot there's another dead blue banksia, and there's another dead blue banksia right in front of me. We're completely surrounded by dead trees. There are no old live trees here at all. Everything has been killed. For those of you who think that grass trees can survive fire, most of the larger grass trees have been killed here. Another small one in front of me. Another one up here. As you can see, the ground around here is covered in new growth of grass trees. These are opportunist plants, and often the first ones to come through after a devastating event like this. If you read Hinchinbrook National Park's information on how fire affects the forests, one of the things they'll tell you is that grass trees respond well to fires. You can see the mass of dead trees. There are millions and millions and millions of them. And normally from this spot there wouldn't be much of a view because you'd be in the forest, and there's no forest here anymore. Against this backdrop of destruction, we'll just pan round here and show you some more rare blue banksias. No longer alive, of course, but there they are. We've been searching for live blue banksias now for about an hour and a half, and we haven't found any. And you can see in the background here, as I pan up against the side of the hill, that virtually every tree has been killed. There's the odd live tree dotted around, and there's lots and lots of new growth. But there is just absolute total devastation, all created by national parks, helicopters dropping incendiary bombs into our forests. What incompetence, what incompetence, absolutely disgusting. And of course they've told nobody about this. Nobody knows that they've destroyed all the blue banksias in this area. They've kept it to themselves. This is a National Park's trail marker lying on the ground, no longer recognisable. This would have been supposed to have been a cool burn, and I'm looking at trees there which are probably 15-20 metres, probably 20 metres tall, and the scorch marks are 15 metres high. This would have been a very, very fierce fire. What we can't see here, of course, is the devastation that would have been caused to the wildlife. Virtually none of the wildlife that couldn't fly has escaped this, but virtually everything would have been killed. Everything would have been burnt to death. With all the plants gone and all the soil, the rocky ground exposed, we're just entering the wet season of 2016, and there's going to be a huge amount of erosion on all these steep slopes. All the trees that were there to protect it before have gone. Blue banksia, there's several of them in this spot. I'm just showing you them. And we have at last found a live blue banksia. I'm just going to come down here, it's pretty small. And there it is. We think that's a live blue banksia, a new plant. It's certainly the only one that we found so far in the last hour and a half.
I think I've just found another one.
And these are probably its parents. I'm actually panning past quite a few dead blue banksias, but up on the side of the hill there you can see where the fire has tracked up and killed everything directly ahead of us. And if you look off to the right you can see the intact forest that's been missed by the fire, and you can see how rich and diverse it is with a virtually closed canopy. There's certainly no canopy left up here. There's nothing left up here. And the blue banksia coming into view there. It's dead trees. This area at the moment is it was almost a monoculture. There's only 2 species of plants growing. One of those is grass trees. I'm afraid I don't know the name of the other one. And just looking back on the sea of grass trees on the hill that we've just come from, and nothing else there left alive. Another dead blue banksia there. And here we have a grass tree, probably 150 years old, sorry about that, 150 years old, that's no longer with us. On the side there you can see more blue banksias. A few more up there. And this is the Thorsburn track. We're looking at another 150-year-old grass tree. Right in front of it we've got yet another blue banksia. And then we're surrounded by fairly large trees, all of them dead. Now just to give you an idea of the time scale of how long it will take for this kind of damage to repair itself. If it's left alone, if national parks were to stop burning it, which of course they won't, then this sort of damage takes 50 to 100 years. 50 to 100 years to recoup itself. Burning like this and exposing all this rocky ground to the full zone influences local temperatures. These rocks heat up during the day and become very, very hot. They don't cool down until 2-3 o'clock in the morning. So normally this area will be covered in a blanket of trees and a closed canopy. A typical wet tropics forest. Something you may not realise is that only a very, very tiny amount of this island is covered by rainforest. I've got a feeling it's about 8%. You would normally expect a forest in this location in the wet tropics, virtually inaccessible with very, very steep slopes everywhere, to have a dominance of wet tropics forest, a dominance of no, forget that one. I'm just going to try and show you again how this fire has tracked up the hills and destroyed everything in its wake. You can see right in front of me there's a track up to the top there, and you can see the grey appearance of the trees in that area, well, what used to be trees in that area. And off to either side you can see how green and lush the forest is. That's what the forest should be like. And then if we look at this section at the top of this hill, you can see that there's lots and lots of grey sticks. You probably can't see them in this video, but the fire has tracked up there, killing everything as well. We've just come to a small pocket of forest which has to some extent escaped the fire. And you can see just how magnificent some of these trees were. And then up in the background the fire has taken over again, and you can see nothing but, in fact I can see one live tree on that hillside, one live tree. I'm standing on the world famous Thorsburn Trail, and normally if you were walking on this area you'd be walking in the shade of the forest, but as you can see all the trees here have been destroyed, and you can see the track wending its way up the hill, all of which really should be in full shade or partial shade, and it's all open to the sun. We've already heard of several incidences of tourists complaining about this burn. Most of them wouldn't know why it was caused. They certainly wouldn't expect national parks to be the people responsible for it. I mentioned before how this area of once forest has now become a duoculture, and I spoke about grass trees, and I'm just coming down here to show you the other species. There's another dead grass tree there. So this species here is the species which is growing together with grass trees, and that's really all there is. There's nothing else here. Here we are with the track markers pointing straight across a very, very deep creek. As you can see, there's some magnificent trees in this area, which is untouched by fire. Just playing around here, there's a huge paperbark that I'm standing almost up against. Absolutely magnificent tree. But nothing's been done about track maintenance, as you can see, for probably at least a year. The track should have been diverted wherever Jennifer is standing now, and a new track cut down to the beach, but that hasn't happened. And you can see the track markers if you look hard on the other side of this creek. You can see the track marker on the side of the tree there, and we'll just pan in, pan out, and here's the track marker on this side pointing straight across the tree. And then just underneath that, a tourist, certainly not national parks, has just cut an arrow into the side of the tree. I'll just pan in so you can see that. So at least you get some idea that you're not supposed to cross the creek, but you can track bash your way down there, or bush bash your way down there beside it. This is beside this little creek where we've been bush bashing through, and you'll notice, so I pan down here, the whole area from here to the beach is infested with Singapore daisy. Singapore daisy, to get rid of it, you have to spray it with a Singapore daisy specific poison. It doesn't respond to anything else.